I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is, hey, the Vegas Golden Knights advanced to the Western Conference Final for the 5th time in their 9 years of existence, 8 of which were in the playoffs. So out of 8 playoff runs, 5 trips to the Western Conference Final is insane. By beating the Anaheim Ducks 5-1 in Game 6, Round 2. I know, so many different numbers, so much stuff. The bad news that I have to get to is that because of this good news, this abomination is going to continue to get worse. There's a reason my facial hair is super patchy. This is gross. This is the whatever. Barely anything. It's somewhat connected here and not at all here. It's so bad, guys. And yeah, nope, that's not good at all. But the Vegas Golden Knights won. So the worst part of this is my wife, which might be the reason why this is probably the last year I'm ever gonna do this, because she has sensitivity issues with skin and whatnot, and this is terrible, and I miss making out with my wife. Am I gonna have to cut that out? I'll ask her. But this game was insane from the standpoint of it wasn't an exciting game, because Vegas 5-on-5 just so dominated this game from the get-go. And this is the first time in Anaheim's history, in their franchise's existence, that a Game 6 at home they've lost. So I want to address Ducks fans first. They're going to be the first to click off this video because they don't want to hear this. Not at all. I get it, man. Your team is so exciting. It's so much fun. Beckett Seneca literally cannot stop scoring. Jackson Lacombe is a monster, whatever the opposite of derogatory is. He's so good. Unbelievable. And Leo Carlson and Olin Zellweger and Pavel Mintyukov. My mouth almost said Dorofeyev because Pavel. And there's also Datsuk and all that jazz, but he's the one I talk about because I cover Vegas. And yeah, we'll get to Doro later. But your team is so fun and so exciting. And Dostal, I genuinely do not want to face you guys in the coming years, because now that you guys have this experience, you guys beat Edmonton, right? Which has the two, even if they were injured, 2 of the best players in the league, in the world, at ice hockey. And it's I can't believe we have to face you in the Pacific Division for years to come. And it was a treat to get to see these guys up close, not in person, literally, and not up as close as I can get to the screen. My point is getting to watch these guys perform at this level in the playoffs and go toe-to-toe with Vegas, because again, the first 2 games, the Ducks largely dictated play. And so it was an honor. It was really, really cool to get to see you guys go head-to-head against Vegas for the first time in this franchise's existence, for the first time in the history of this league. I will say, this has to have been the ugliest jersey matchup of all time in the playoffs. These colors just clash so much, and I understand on the TV the gold looks like mustard. In person, I think it's a beautiful jersey. That it's just Vegas, and your guys' jerseys are incredible. This is my favorite one because of the eggplant and the it's not teal, right? That's San Jose's thing. But your new one, I am so tempted to get a Roger McQueen 95 jersey because it's so perfect. And I grew up with Cars being one of my favorite movies, even though I was 10 when it came out. Anyway, Anaheim is a scary team, and this was a success for them, right? This season. And I get being disappointed that it ends, but I'm gonna, through the camera, handshake Ducks fans. You guys are really, really fun. And what's the duck? Ben Affleck with that was such a fun bit. And the playoff logo with the smear on the map, it's so good. I love it. It's really cool. Genuinely, I could have seen this game going either way until Marner scored what has to have been the second best top 2 for sure goal in Vegas Golden Knights franchise history. So we're gonna transition now to the game. But hey, thank you Anaheim fans, thank you Ducks. It was a good series, and I'm glad I got to watch you guys closer. 1 minute into the game, William Karlsson sends such a beautiful pass to Mitch Marner, who's cheating a little bit and has Jackson Lacombe on him, the monster, who I think with a little bit more experience might have been able to take better positioning against Marner to shove him one way or another. But Marner gets this pass, and it's him and Lacombe streaming in towards Dostal away from everybody else, and he pulls one of the nastiest moves I've ever seen, where he pulls it and then fake shoots it, but then instead drags it back and then between the legs just taps it into the goal, faking Dostal out that way and burying it. It was so nasty. I know I have sentimental attachment to William Karlsson's shorthanded between the legs goals against San Jose's Martin Jones in the inaugural season. And that inaugural season was a beauty. He scored 41 goals and all that jazz. It wasn't a playoff goal, right? And this one was, and it wasn't the game winner because Anaheim scores later in this game, but I was speechless. This goal, please, if you did not see this goal, look it up. If you saw this goal, look it up and watch and revel in its glory, because it is so good. It hands down the goal of the playoffs because of just the skill, the raw skill and talent that it needed to happen to have it pulled off. And it was Mitch Marner in Game 6. And the later, the goalposts keep moving because it was just he doesn't perform in games 5, 6, and 7, right? And now it's like, well, they're facing a team that wouldn't have made the playoffs in the Atlantic. Okay, whatever. You guys keep moving the goalposts to be whatever you want it to be, and then keep Mitch Marner the league's leading playoff point scorer with all of the primary assists on Vegas's 4 shorthanded goals, including one coming up. Because Mitch Marner pulls into the zone shorthanded. Our fourth line takes way too many penalties, and I'm going to address that again in a minute. But he pulls up and sends dictates play to draw Ducks over to the other side, leaving a lane open for a pass, beautiful pass, hard pass over to Brett Howden, who's able to bury it with an NHL league record tying 3rd shorthanded goal in a single playoff run. Our power kill is insane. And Mitch Marner with the 3 primary assists on all 3 of those Howden goals, including another primary assist on McNabb's shorthanded goal earlier this series. He's insane. And I don't know what the odds are for, a Brett Howden shorthanded goal in the next series against Colorado. Oh.
I'm in danger.
But it would break an NHL record, and with Mitch Marner there, I think that it is somewhat likely, at least. Vegas won. I already said that. We're moving on to face Colorado in the Western Conference Final. I'll talk about that again at the end, I guess. But goal 3, Shea Theodore on the power play just finds a lane, wrister, shoots it into the net, and Vegas 3-0 lead going into the first intermission. Boy, man, Vegas scoring early in Anaheim to silence the crowd did wonders for Game 4 and Game 6. It is, I think, a large reason of why those games were more blowouts, on top of the fact that Vegas kind of dictated 5-on-5 play. Anaheim had moments where they were driving in, but Vegas's defensive structure was completely bought in. Whatever Torts brought that got them to buy in, they were not doing this all of the regular season. And so they allow shots on goal from the perimeter and sweep out any pucks that end up being able to bounce off of Carter Hart, and it just, the pucks that don't, he holds on to. So just really good structure and setup and system that Torts has them playing defensively, whatever mindset. I don't know what is different, but it feels completely different. Anaheim scores on the power play, and their only goal of the game, it was Mikael Granlund with a beautiful pass from Troy Terry. And that made it 3-1. And in the back of all of Vegas fans' minds is the game against Utah, where we were up 3-0 and allowed 4 straight goals for them to come back, only for us to come back and then tie it and then eventually win it in overtime. But it was there, and it really, like, at that moment it creeped in, and then it never really got worse than that, because Vegas, the rest of the second period, were able to push stuff away, which, to be fair, it was the third period really that stormed off, and like, anything can happen. It's hockey. I've seen worse leads blown all the time. Not all the time, but regularly enough that it was a concern. But Vegas gets the 4th goal for them, like the 5th goal of the game. Pavel Dorofeyev, oh boy, I understand Vegas's hesitancy with talking about it, but I swear this guy's gonna get at least $10 million per year, and it will be worth it. It's a little bit of sticker shock, but with the cap rising and all this jazz, and I don't know how Vegas is gonna re-sign Anderson. I know that they already probably know what they're going to do, shifting out salary cap, whatever, to make it work, but there's no way that they spend a 1st-round pick on Rasmus Anderson and not retain it. I don't know. And I'm talking about the offseason. The offseason doesn't matter. We're not there yet. Vegas, sorry Anaheim, that might not come across the greatest, but Pavel Dorofeyev scores goals 4 and 5.
Knock knock! Who's there? The door!
He scored 2 goals in the 3rd period, and the first one was just a beautiful play from Barbashev against the half wall to get it into the slot towards Dorofeyev, who just rings it off the far post and in, not like post, but like far side and in to the back of the net past Ostall. And then goal 5, he just cycles behind the net, turns and rips it from a terrible angle, and I cannot believe this one went in past Ostall. He had a rough game, Dostal did. Yeah, I don't know. I know he's a better goalie than what he played today, and in general in this series, I don't think his numbers really represent how good he actually played. But at the same time, like, goalies are voodoo, and so I know he can play better than this, and hopefully it was just inexperience in the playoffs, and he's able to be more, well, not hopefully, but like, if you guys face Edmonton again next year, then yeah, hopefully, but if you face Vegas again, hopefully not. I don't know. Vegas' goalie did really well. He played really solidly tonight, and there were a couple of different plays throughout the game that were kind of like breakaway chances, 2-on-1 little chances that all regular season went in, no matter who the goalie was. And Hart really stepped up and has been able to shut those down a lot more. And it's been nice to not automatically think it's going to be a goal every time that there's a 2-on-1 the other way or a breakaway the other way. Like, that's how it felt with Hill all season. And with Schmid, if he started the game, it was like that. But if he went in cold, he wasn't. I don't know. He had a really good game. And Mitch Marner was feeling it tonight. He had another where he wrung it off the post and out, but like, my dude is a game 6 merchant, I guess. Puts the team on his back in game 6s like he did against Utah in round 1.
I put the team on my back, dude.
Just fantastic stuff to get us going, and then throughout the rest of the game, honestly, he had that set up to Howden on the shorthanded goal, but a really solid game from the Vegas Golden Knights, and they were able to hold on. They gave Anaheim several chances to get back into this game because our 4th line keeps taking penalties. Nick Dowd took 2, although Trouba got called for embellishment on that, which, okay, I thought that was weird. But I think the refs were game managing. They do this all the time, and it's so dumb. I don't know. Embellishment is such a weird thing because it happens all the time and never gets called. And then the times that it does, you're like, okay, well, how does that make this any different than any of these other times that it doesn't get called? Because, like, players will stick their sticks into places, and the player will clamp down and then fall, which, yeah, like, that should like their stick shouldn't be there, but at the same time they're embellishing it to make sure that it's called, right? They're not like they're selling it to they're drawing attention and making sure that it's called, which I don't know. It's so rough, and it's league wide. It's just how the NHL refs are, and of course we're not able to talk to them at all, and so there's no accountability because there is no Warren Bossing say, according to Gary Bettman. So the only other thing that I want to really talk about in return, like in regards to the game, was Cole Smith also had a penalty early, and we've got to figure that out because that's like Colorado's power play did not do well in the regular season. I believe they were like really bad, but I don't know if we watched any Colorado games. I don't know, man. It's gonna be a fun series. I think. Hopefully, I think Vegas has a better shot than what everyone else seems to think that are not Vegas fans. And I also understand that I'm biased and not objective when I say that, and so it's just rough to go into. But the only other thing I wanted to say was the Howden, Karlsson, Marner line is simultaneously a defensive shutdown line because of Karlsson and Marner, and then also a scoring threat all the time because of Howden and Marner and their ability to transition and just it's so cool to see that line be a complete 200-foot line. So hats off to that line, and we're gonna hopefully see that line do amazing things against Colorado. Speaking of Colorado, game 1 is Wednesday. Next week. There's 6 days between this game and next game. Oh man, good for Vegas to rest up, I guess, a little bit with Lauzon being injured and Stone, and McNabb served his suspension. He got suspended. The Department of Player Safety is a joke, and I can hear the argument that that was a suspension. However, the problem is the way that they hand out these suspensions are always, it's seemingly, with George Paros's team, whoever the other team, like the Ducks, and Getzlaf just joined them. So like, I don't know. I'm not going to conspiracy theory this, but like, there's a whole rant from the SDPN about Gregory Campbell and and George Parros. So I feel similarly to them. If you want to check them out, please do so. They talk about this decent amount because it constantly comes up because of things that are happening in the league. Anyway, these games are at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, which is so good for me. My kids might actually watch a game in its entirety. Well, my son for sure might watch a game in its entirety for sure. And I'm just, oh man, I feel so lucky. Watch the one game I keep him up for. Vegas just gets blown out. I don't know, we'll see. But this is going to be a tough battle for Vegas. This is their toughest battle yet, obviously. They beat them to close out the season in the regular season after they made the coaching switch to Torts, which was good, but Colorado wasn't really playing for anything at that point. So we're going to have to see if the President's Trophy curse upholds itself. And, you know, I'm glad we finished this the day after Colorado clinched, because this just means that they're about to have about equal amounts of rest. We're going to be facing Nick Waugh. So Marner versus Waugh should be an interesting storyline because, you know, the trade and both of them in the both pieces of the trade from Toronto are in the Western Conference Final against each other. So that's so fantastic for Toronto fans, right? Please comment below what you think the most beautiful goal in Vegas Golden Knight history is, because the two that I can think of are Marner's from tonight and Karlsson as like competition for the #1 spot. And I know there have been plenty of other cool ones. Alex Tuck literally batted the puck out of the air and was able to slam it home against the Avs in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals second round 4 years ago when we played them. The only other time we played them in the playoffs, which Vegas won in 6, by the way. Kadri was suspended the entire, games 1 through 6. And so he was eligible to come back for Game 7, and Vegas closes out in 6. Not having Stone, I don't know, and he had that huge overtime game winner in Game 5 that with one of the most iconic pictures of all time. And so we're going to have to see what happens, but it should be fun. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. If you are still here, please hit like, please hit subscribe if you haven't already. And this is round 2, game 6's nightly review. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.